So today I will be doing a review on my Rugged Tools guide rail bag. I use it to store two Makita 55-inch guide rails for my track saw. It says it'll handle up to 59-inch guide rails, so it should work with your DeWalt, your Festool, Triton, Milwaukee, anything that's 59-inch or less, and about 9 inches or depth. I'll go ahead and get exact measurements for you. That being said, when I first went to buy one, I was looking at getting the Makita, as I have Makita rails, and they had one in stock at the local Rockler. When I saw it in person, it seemed very thin. The zipper wasn't the greatest, so I decided not to buy it. It was $60. I went on Amazon and I found this guy for $39.99, and there are a lot of good reviews and people who also said they favored it over the Makita bag. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at it. It is a 600D polyester. It has padding on both sides, and it is quite a bit thicker than the Makita bags. There is a little pocket here that has a card in it that you can fill out your name and address if you lose something, or you can put your business card. Don't know how useful that is to most people. So the bag overall, they show it as 62 inches. When I measure it with my rails in it, which is important, I'm about 61.5, because as you actually put your rails in it, it gets a little thicker and it seems like the length isn't quite as long as when it's flat. And it's about 8 inches. They claim 9, but I don't think you definitely can't fit anything 9 inches in it. There are two pockets, one on the front, one on the back. They are the same size, and you can use it for holding any of your accessories. Currently in here right now, I have two of my Festool guide rail track clamps, and I have my TSO guide rail connectors, so I can put my two 55-inch tracks together and get 110 inches out of it. These items fit in here very easily with room to spare. Now if we go ahead and look at the pockets, the pocket is roughly 16 and 3/4 inch wide. Now the zipper opening is right at 15 3/4 between the edge of the zipper and the right side there, and the pocket's about 8 1/4 inches, so probably something about 8 inches you can fit in there comfortably. The pocket on the back side is the same size. There are double handles with a Velcro closure that has kind of a thicker neoprene handle that's very comfortable, and the zipper is actually a very good quality zipper that operates very smooth. The only time I have issues is if I end up catching it on some of the Velcro straps inside. Now inside we have two different compartments, sort of. It's basically one compartment with a divider that you can store your tracks in. You could definitely fit more tracks in. They just would be rubbing up against each other. So each track is secured a couple different ways. We have a Velcro closure here. This Velcro is kind of thin. It hasn't torn on me yet. And then there's a pocket that it slides into. Now this pocket, when I do slide in, I go kind of slow, because if I have it standing up or go at a weird angle, the edge of my tracks are kind of sharp, and I feel like I could puncture it. I haven't yet. That being said, a lot of times when I'm transporting this or just storing it in the garage, I don't bother putting on the Velcro, and I've had no issues. As long as you unzip it in a way that stuff's not going to fall out, I don't see a big issue. Now, the Velcro strap does keep the guide rails from being right on the crease here when you're carrying it, or going all the way up against the zipper. So if you are transporting it, not just storing it in your garage, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and close those Velcro straps. Now the divider here is not padded. It is just that same 600D polyester, which all it really needs to do is keep them from rubbing up against each other, and the padding is there to help keep you from dinging it or denting it. with some sort of abuse, but not too heavily. Now, I've brought this in my van a handful of times to go to different jobs, transport it to other places to do work. That being said, it looks almost about the same as when I got it new. There's a few little strings loose here and there, but nothing that started pulling or unzipping apart. When I transport this, I am pretty careful with it because I don't want to bend my guide rails. The padding will help keep you from getting dings if something bumps up against it, but if you start smashing and throwing heavy items on it, you could still bend stuff. There's no other rigid support other than the guide rails themselves. Now, if I go ahead, and you can see right here, you can kind of almost see my track. If I push too hard, I could possibly puncture that. With my 55-inch track, which measures just under 55 1/4 inches, I have 4 3/4 of an inch left before my zipper. And then the inside here, actual real life usable, it shows about 9 inches. If you had 1 or 2 rails that are about 9 inches wide, you might be able to get them in there, but by the time you go to zip it, you might be closer to 8 3/4 because it's a soft case. Overall, I've been very happy with the case. At $39, I definitely recommend it, as I feel it is better quality than the Makita case. That's about $60, and it holds up just fine, and it'll definitely help protect it from damage during transport, but you know, with the caveat that you still got to treat it well because it will not protect against bending or anything like that if you start setting heavy weight on it. I always have it up in the front of my van behind the seats or on top of stuff in the back to where it's not going to move around or have anything shift on it. Or they will just get kind of leaned up on the garage in between the toolbox where nothing ends up bumping on it. But overall, I think it's a great case. You can definitely fit more than 2 guide rails in here. If you want to put one of your own dividers or you're not too worried about rubbing. Overall, I think it's a great buy at the price. If you found this review useful, please go ahead and leave a comment down below, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Thanks.